Hello and welcome to part 12 of Shadowrun Hong Kong Extended Edition bonus campaign playthrough by Old Man Memo. In the last episode we stormed the warehouse of RS Mega Corporation and Typo, and we decided to let Crate go because we found out that she was in the end a Shadowrunner like us, so there was no fight. But before leaving the warehouse to Mitsuhama, we got an offer from Kindly Cheng, which we did kindly refused. Because I have decided that my childhood friend Duncan should deserve his life back. He was not at fault to being stripped of his sin. So today we are going to find out how our decision fared out. So, let's go. Epilogue. Q and Duncan wait by your side for the Mitsuhama suborbital transport, Duncan looking more and more impatient as the seconds tick by. The rest of your group is absent. No, they are not your group anymore. Your time working for Kindly Cheng is done. The other runners now just memories, a part of a history to leave behind with Hong Kong. The transport arrives and quickly launches you into the sky. Below, a small fleet of aircraft descends like vulture on the Typo warehouse. Mitsuhama reclamation teams come flooding into the space. The advanced technology inside. RS conspiracy has failed. Its secret laid bare. What happens from here will be in the Executive Council's hands. Q fades into and out of consciousness as your transport's VTOL engines carry the craft away, out of the shadows and into a different life. A deep, bone-rattling shake jolts you awake from a dreamless sleep. It feels like an earthquake, but you can't move. You're strapped to a chair. Gradually, your brain reorients itself and you remember where you are. A transorbital flight one way from Hong Kong to Seattle. At long last, you're on your way home, courtesy of Senior Inspector Fiona Q and her connections at Mitsuhama. The flight is nearly empty. Red Eye out of Czech luck cock rarely hosts anyone other than high-level corporate types. Jet-setting sim stars and freaks like you. You glance up, catching the eye of the flight attendant standing beside your seat. Drink order, sir? The flight attendant smiled down on you, seemingly oblivious to the turbulence that continues to rock the cabin. We'll be coming by with the cart momentarily, but if you'd like to purchase an alcoholic beverage, I can take your credit stick now. We have beer, wine and spirits. I want a liqueur, the hard stuff. Spirits are 22 yuan. Timmy will come by with the cart and you can select your choice of liquor and mixer. She attends a hand. Credit stick, please. 22 yuan. Order a drink. Sounds good to me. She inserts your credit stick into a reader, then hands it back with a smile. Thank you, sir. Timmy will be by with your drink in a jiff. Going for the hard stuff, huh? Can't blame you. I'll probably dip into a bourbon or two myself before the landing gear hits the tarmac. Why the wait? You got something you need to be sober for? Not really. I'm just pacing myself. Anyway, that whole Hong Kong debacle, it was a hell of a thing, wasn't it? A hell of a thing. We kicked a demon's god's ass and got to eat weird food. Not the worst vacation I've ever had, honestly. Yeah, I don't regret it. I should, but I don't. I just wish that Carter hadn't died. That hadn't... Fuck, I don't even want to think about it. Him trapped in that, wherever he is, with that thing, forever. He gave his life to save us, to save Hong Kong. Yeah, he did. At that. Duncan stares blankly into the distance for a moment. That was his style, though, trying to save the world, one homeless orc kid at a time. There is a moment of silence as another wave of turbulence rocks the plane. Got one last question for you, if you don't mind. You are going to hang out around in Seattle after we get home, aren't you? I mean, you're not going to disappear overnight or anything, right? Haven't made up my mind yet, but for the first time in a long time, it's my decision to make. Yeah, it feels good. I gotta stay. And look, if you do decide to leave, I won't try to stop you. It's your life. You gotta live it for yourself. But for God's sake, fucking tell me before you go running off into the night this time, okay? I will, Duncan. That's a promise. He nods his head again. Good. Now, if you excuse me, I'm gonna tune out for a while. You should do the same, Memu. Take a load off. Enjoy yourself. Duncan wakes up his seats inbuilt entertainment terminal and begins fishing through menu screens. With a few seconds, a game of Urban Brawl is playing on the screen. He slips on his headphones and tunes out. The cabin shudders again, more turbulence, but it doesn't bother you. You know that you can weather it. You let your eyes flutter shut and deep sense of satisfaction washes over you. You've come full circle. You're finally going home. Seattle feels strange after so much time away. It still feels like home, but it's curiously foreign at the same time. With your sins back, you and Duncan set about rebuilding the lives that you once had. Rather than returning to Lone Star, Duncan uses the money he saved up to start his own private security firm, taking legitimate work from smaller companies. It's not as glamorous as your old life, but it's safer, more stable. You remain friends, but without Raymond's influence, there is a distance between you, and no amount of trust seems to breach. For your part, your skills are always in demand, be it helping Duncan when he needs extra backup, investigating mysterious occurrences, or helping corporate clients out of tough situation. It's less of an adrenaline rush than the constant danger of your life in Hong Kong, but it pays well, and it's rewarding enough to keep you satisfied. The world turns, seasons change, and lives move on. And the following month, RS Macro Technology takes over the contract of the HKPF from Mitsuhama. The Tolo Harbor complex is completed, and a new, heavily militarized police force walks the street of Hong Kong. Back in Seattle, the city is thrown into chaos when the Renraku archaeology inexplicably closes itself off from the outside world, trapping its 100,000 residents inside. The UCAS military cordons the structure off, casting a pall over the Metroplex. The feud between the Red Dragon Association and the Yellow Lotus erupts into a full-scale gang war in the early 2060s, resulting in the total destructions of the Yellow Lotus. You are unsure of what has become of Kindly Cheng, Gobet or Isobel, and you never hear word of them again. You sometimes think back to your time in the shadows, but not often. Over time the memories fade, dissipating into dreams or friends long gone, and nightmares of monsters best left in the past, but for now, it's time to look for the future, and the promise that it still holds. And that was the final part of Shadowrun Hong Kong Extended Edition bonus campaign blind playthrough by Old Man Memu. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and the story concluded as we have flown back to the Seattle and regain our lives again. And unfortunately, we will never know what happened to Isobel, Rakter, Gaichu and Gobet, but hopefully Rakter was able to lead the team to successful future and they are still keeping alive. So for now, if you enjoyed the game as much as I did, feel free to hit that follow button on the Twitch and subscribe button on the YouTube channel. But for now, enjoy the rest of your day and see you soon at some other game. Bye bye.